There's an invisible killer inside your house right now. It's not hiding in your walls, it's not lurking in your closet. It's sitting in your pocket, it's lying on your desk, it's glowing quietly on your nightstand. And every single day, it's murdering your potential. Not suddenly, not violently, but slowly. So slowly that you don't even realize it's happening. Years will pass before you look back and wonder, where did all that time go? Where did all those dreams disappear to? Where's that person you once believed you'd become? This killer doesn't use weapons. It doesn't need to. It uses notifications. It doesn't use force. It uses algorithms. It doesn't attack your body. It attacks something far more precious: your attention, your focus, your time, your ability to stay with something long enough to actually build something meaningful. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You feel it every single day. That pull, that itch, that impulse to check, to scroll, to refresh, to see what's happening in a world that honestly doesn't even matter, while your own world, the one you could be building, sits there waiting for you to show up. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. Distractions aren't attacking you. You're inviting them in, you're feeding them, nurturing them, giving them permission to destroy everything you claim you want to build. Until you understand that distractions aren't the real problem, your relationship with them is, nothing will change. You'll keep living in that same endless loop, telling yourself you'll change tomorrow, promising yourself you'll start fresh next week, setting goals, making plans, only to watch them dissolve the moment something slightly more interesting flashes on your screen. But today, that ends. Today, we're going to hunt down your distractions, systematically, strategically, permanently. Not through empty motivation or feel-good speeches, but through truth. Because I'm going to show you exactly what those distractions are costing you, and exactly how to destroy them before they destroy your future. Let's talk about why this is happening, and why you never stood a chance. Because you're not just distracted, you're being trained to be distracted. Right now, your attention, the single most valuable thing you have, is being sold to the highest bidder. There's an entire trillion-dollar industry built around one mission: to capture your focus, hijack your impulses, and keep you hooked just long enough to make someone else rich. And the scary part? They've gotten so good at it that you don't even realize it's happening anymore. You think you're choosing to open your favorite app. You think you're deciding to check what's new. But every tap, every scroll, every swipe, it's all been engineered. Engineered to trigger that tiny hit of dopamine, that spark of novelty that keeps you coming back again and again. Every time you open that app, an invisible slot machine spins. Maybe you'll see something funny, maybe something shocking, maybe something that makes you feel seen, or angry, or jealous. And just like a gambler sitting at a casino table, you can't stop because you don't know when the next hit will come. That unpredictability is the trap. It's what keeps your brain craving more. And while you think you're just killing time, they're killing you. Your focus, your creativity, your drive. They're mining your attention the way companies mine oil, draining you dry, one scroll at a time. Here's the brutal truth. Your mind was not built for this. It wasn't designed to process an infinite stream of information, notifications, headlines, and highlight reels. Your brain evolved to focus on one thing at a time, to hunt, to build, to create, to survive. But today, it's being overloaded, overstimulated, and overstressed. And it's shutting down your ability to stay still long enough to do something meaningful. You know that feeling when you sit down to work and within minutes your mind starts searching for a distraction? That's not weakness. That's conditioning. You've been trained to escape boredom, even though boredom is the birthplace of clarity. And this is how they win. They make you fear silence. They make you crave stimulation. And in that endless craving, you lose the very thing that makes you powerful. Your ability to choose where your mind goes. Because here's the truth no one wants to face. You're not just losing time when you get distracted. You're losing your future, piece by piece, scroll by scroll. You already know distractions are stealing your time, but what you don't realize is how much they're really taking. Because time isn't the only thing you lose when you get distracted. You lose depth, you lose clarity, you lose momentum. You lose that rare ability to stay with something long enough to make it extraordinary. Think about it. How many times have you started something that mattered to you, only to abandon it halfway because something urgent popped up? How many books have you started but never finished? How many ideas have died in your notes app? How many dreams have you postponed until later? A later that never actually comes. Every time you switch tasks, every time you check your phone mid-focus, you're not just breaking concentration. You're resetting your brain's rhythm. You're forcing it to climb the mountain of focus all over again. That tiny notification you checked for just a second, it cost you 20 minutes of deep work, 20 minutes of potential flow, 20 minutes that could have brought you closer to the life you say you want. Multiply that by 100 times a day. And tell me, how much of your life is left for the things that actually matter? This is the silent tax of the modern world. Every scroll, every ping, every glance, it's a small withdrawal from your potential. And the balance? It's running dangerously low. You don't notice it right away. It doesn't hurt like physical pain. It doesn't bleed or leave scars. But one day, you wake up, and the dreams that once burned inside you feel distant. The hunger you once had feels dull. And you start to believe maybe you were never meant for more. But that's not true. You were meant for more. You just stopped giving your attention to the things that build you and started giving it to the things that break you. Here's the painful truth. The cost of distraction isn't your time. It's your life. Because the life you want can only exist in moments of focus. And when focus dies, so does progress. So before you say you don't have time, ask yourself, do you really not have time? Or have you just given it away to things that don't deserve it? You've felt it. That fog in your head when you try to focus. That invisible resistance when you sit down to work. That urge to grab your phone for just a second, even though you know it's going to derail your entire flow. That's not laziness. That's not a lack of discipline. That's your brain, rewired by constant stimulation. See, focus is like a muscle. And just like any muscle, when you stop training it, it weakens. Every scroll, every short, every quick dopamine hit, it's like eating junk food for your mind. It feels good, it's easy, it's instant. But the more you feed on it, the harder it becomes to enjoy, or even tolerate, the slow, quiet process of real growth. You know what's crazy? We live in the most connected time in human history, and yet people have never felt more distracted, more anxious, more numb. You can't sit still. You can't read a page without checking your notifications. You can't watch a movie without another screen in your hand. Your brain is constantly seeking something new, something faster, something louder. That's what overstimulation does. It destroys your tolerance for boredom. And boredom is where breakthroughs are born. Because boredom forces your mind to think, to create, to connect ideas. It's the birthplace of inspiration. But now, the moment boredom creeps in, you escape it instantly. You reach for your phone, you check, you scroll, you click, and in doing so, you rob yourself of the silence where genius grows. Focus isn't just about avoiding distractions. It's about retraining your brain to sit in silence again, to build tolerance for the stillness that once used to be natural. And that's the tragedy of our generation. We have access to infinite information, but we've lost the patience to turn it into wisdom. You can't master anything without focus. You can't build depth without stillness. You can't create something extraordinary while living on mental fast food. So if you ever wonder why your attention span feels broken, it's not because you're incapable. It's because the world taught you to live like a browser with 50 tabs open. And now, your mission is to start closing them, one by one. You can't fix what you don't face, so let's face it. Your distractions aren't random, they're patterns, they have roots, they have triggers. And if you don't understand why you keep running back to them, you'll never escape them. That's where elimination begins. Not by deleting apps or throwing your phone across the room, but by becoming aware. Because awareness always comes before control. So here's your mission. Run an audit on your life. For the next 7 days, don't change anything. Just observe. Every time you get distracted, write down what pulled you away. Was it boredom, stress, fatigue, fear of starting something hard? You'll start to see a pattern, and that pattern will show you what's actually controlling you. Once you know that, you can begin the elimination process. Start with your environment, because focus doesn't survive in chaos. Look around your workspace. Every notification, every open tab, every unnecessary object, it's a vote against your attention. Clean your desk, close your tabs, silence your phone. Put friction between you and your distractions. Want to stop checking your phone? Put it in another room. Want to stop scrolling before bed? Charge it across the room. Make distraction inconvenient and focus easy. Next, clean up your digital space. Unfollow every account that doesn't make you grow. Mute every noise that doesn't feed your purpose. Your feed shapes your focus, and your focus shapes your future. You don't need to know what everyone else is doing. You need to know what you're doing, because the moment you stop comparing, you start creating. And finally, learn to say no. No to pointless conversations. No to constant availability. No to anything that drains more than it gives. You are not meant to be accessible 24/7. You are meant to be present when it matters. Elimination isn't about restriction, it's about reclaiming. Reclaiming your energy, reclaiming your time, reclaiming the ability to give your full attention to something again. Because you can't reach the next level of your life with the same clutter that's been holding you back. And once you remove what doesn't serve you, you'll finally see how much power you still have. Now that you've eliminated the noise, it's time to rebuild the skill you've lost: focus. Because focus isn't something you're born with, it's something you train. And if distraction is a muscle you've strengthened for years, then focus is the muscle you now have to rebuild, rep by rep, moment by moment. So here's where we start: the focus training. 1. The one-task rule. From now on, do one thing at a time. No multitasking, no jumping between tabs, no half-working, half-scrolling. If you're studying, study. If you're writing, write. If you're resting, rest. Because every time you split your attention, you're teaching your brain to live in fragments. And fragmented minds don't build powerful lives. 2. The deep work block. Set aside 60 to 90 minutes a day for deep, undisturbed focus. No phone, no notifications, no background noise. The goal isn't perfection, it's endurance. You're retraining your mind to stay, to resist the itch, to stay locked in when your brain screams to escape. At first, it'll be hard. You'll feel restless. Your thoughts will wander. You'll crave that dopamine hit. That's normal. It's withdrawal. Because you're detoxing from the world's most addictive drug, distraction. But if you push through that discomfort, something incredible happens. Your thoughts start to quiet down. Your clarity returns. Your creativity wakes up. And you start to remember what real concentration feels like. 3. The boredom rebuild. Start practicing doing nothing. Yes, sit with your thoughts. Go for a walk without your phone. Stare at the sky. Sounds simple, right? But it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Because silence exposes everything you've been avoiding. Your fears, your doubts, your unfinished dreams. And that's exactly why it's powerful. Boredom is not your enemy. It's the gym where focus grows. The more you face silence, the less control it has over you. 4. The mental reset ritual. Before every deep work session, take 30 seconds to reset. Breathe deeply. Set one clear intention. What am I here to do right now? No vague goals. No to-do list chaos. Just one mission. One target. One block of pure, deliberate focus. Because clarity creates momentum, and momentum creates mastery. And here's the truth. You won't master focus in a day. But every session, every moment of discipline, every time you win the battle against distraction, you're sharpening your mind like a blade. This is how warriors are built in the modern world. Not with swords or shields, but with attention. If you can control your focus, you can control your time. If you can control your time, you can control your life. And if you can control your life, you can create anything.